Hello and welcome back to this week's Standby Generator podcast. I'm your host, Jim Swetman. I want to start out with a confession. I sold generators for years. I've been in this industry for over 40 years. I built and sold a standby generator dealership. I've been to Generac conferences, industry events, trade shows, and all kinds. And I've never been to the Kohler Dealer Conference, not once. Welcome to the Standby Generator Podcast, brought to you by Power Alliance. I'm your host, Jim Swetman. Together, we will dive into the world of the standby power business, offering expert insights, industry trends, and actionable strategies to help you grow and scale your generator business. Whether you're looking to optimize your operations, increase profitability, or stay ahead of the curve, this podcast is your go-to resource. So grab a seat and let's power up your business for success. I know, how does that happen? Honestly, the timing was never right. I was always heads down running the business. And then when I sold the company, I transitioned out. That chapter closed before I ever made it. So here's what I want you to know this year. I'm going for the first time. I'm going to the RELCO, Kohler, Summit in Orlando on March 2nd to the 5th as a first-timer, just like a lot of you. Today, I want to share how I'm thinking about this event. 3 specific things I'm going to observe that I think every dealer should be paying attention to, and the sessions I'm personally not willing to miss. And when I get back from Orlando, I'm doing a follow-up episode. I'll tell you exactly what I actually found. So let's go. Here's something I've been thinking about as I prepared for this Kohler conference. I think the Generac dealer world really well. I know it extremely well. I've lived it. I've studied it. I've analyzed it. I know how Generac talks to its dealers. I know how Generac dealers talk to each other. I know the culture. I don't know the RELCO dealer world the same way. I sold this product for years. I've never been in a room full of Kohler dealers. And there are 3 specific things I'm going into Orlando to observe. I'm telling you what they are because I think you should be looking for the same things. Number 1, how deep does the commercial mindset actually go? The RELCO dealer base, by reputation, skews more commercial than Generac. More dealers doing significant work above the residential range, assisted living, medical facilities, data infrastructure, and commercial buildings. Now, a dealer who does serious commercial work thinks differently about their business than a pure residential dealer. They think about engineering, subcontractor relationships, project management, risk in a way that residential work just doesn't require. I want to see that mindset is actually in the room. Are the hallway conversations commercial forward? Are dealers talking at a higher strategic attitude? Because if they are, boy oh boy, this is a 3-day education for any residential dealer who walks in with their ears open. Number 2, how does RELCO's leadership actually talk to its dealers? When I asked Aaron Yegfeld's keynote, if you remember from the Generac Dealer Conference, one of the things I was watching was how Generac communicates with his dealers' network, what they share, how transparent they are, and why the dynamic in the room feels like. RELCO now has new owners. potentially a very different kind of conversation from the stage. I'm going into the session with RELCO executives, take questions from the floor with my eyes wide open. Are they direct? Is there real dialogue happening, or is it a polished presentation? Do the dealers push back? That dynamic tells you a lot about what kind of long-term partner this manufacturer is going to be. And you don't learn from a brochure. Number 3, is the peer learning culture as strong as I see in the Generac world? Here's what I believe about this industry. The most learning doesn't come from manufacturers. It doesn't come from the vendors. It comes from dealer to dealer. From the guy who had your exact problem 18 months ago and figured it out. That's what drives Power Alliance. And that's what I see working at every conference I've ever been to, where dealers actually open up to each other. I want to see that same culture exist at the RELCO dealer community. Are these dealers willing to share what's working? Are they open to what isn't? Is there genuine generosity in those hallways, conversations, or is everyone holding their cards close? I'll be watching for that moment when I walk in, and I'll report back. These are 3 lenses going into Orlando. Bring them too, because the answers will tell you more about the opportunity in the market than any keynote speaker will. This episode of the Standby Generator Podcast is proudly presented by Power Alliance, the only mastermind community built specifically for standby generator dealers. At Power Alliance, we believe growth happens faster when you're connected. That's why we bring together like-minded dealers across the country to share real-world insights, solve challenges, and accelerate business success together. From streamlining operations to scaling your service division, Power Alliance gives you the tools, support, and community to take your business to the next level. Learn more and join the movement at www.poweralliance.com. Now, I haven't been here before, so I can't tell you from the personal experience what the room feels like. But I've talked to dealers who have attended over the years, and the thing I keep hearing is this: the access is unlike anything at a big conference. And when you think about it, what makes complete sense, when you're at the conference with 3,000 people, you can get lost. You spend half your time just navigating the exhibit hall. When you're in a smaller room, everything seems more accessible. You can actually have real conversations with the people who make decisions at RELCO. The vendors in the exhibit hall aren't overwhelmed. They'll sit down and talk to you. This is what I've heard. And most importantly, the dealer-to-dealer conversation goes deeper. You're sitting at dinner together. You're in the hallway during a break with 20 minutes and nowhere to be. Those are the conversations that change your business. I'm going in to find out if it's good as it's advertised. But I'll say this right now, if you walk into Orlando thinking this isn't as big as Generac, flip that. The size is the opportunity, and use it. Let me connect something for you that I think is really important. A few weeks ago at the Generac Dealer Conference, Aaron talked about the home energy ecosystem, generators, batteries, solar monitoring, microgrids. He said Generac is not just a generator company anymore. They are an energy company. And now here's Rehlko doing exactly the same thing. Standalone energy company, microgrid technology under the roof, and all their energy business coming together under one conference for the first time. Both of the major players in this industry are making the same strategic pivot at the same time. This is not a coincidence. This is the direction of the industry. So when you walk into Orlando Conference Center on March 2nd, carry the question with you the entire time. How do I position my dealership as an energy company, not just a generator installer? The dealers who answer that question correctly over the next 2 or 3 years are going to win big. The ones who don't are going to find themselves on the wrong side of a very fast moving market. You get 4 breakout sessions and 1 spark session at this conference. That's it. Spaces fill up, first come, first serve. So I've gone through the whole lineup, and I'm going to give you the honest version, not a tour of every breakout, just the ones I think and forthcoming and fighting for. One of the breakout sessions, the service profitability session. This is non-negotiable for business owners. They've got sessions specifically about turning your service department into a profit center. If you're running service as a necessary cost, as something you do because customers call and you have to show up, you're leaving a significant amount of money on the table every single year. The dealers I've seen build real, reoccurring service revenue are the ones who weather the slow installs years without bleeding out, like many did last year in 2025. And if you're the one whose companies are worth more than it's time to sell, get in that room. Next one is the peer-to-peer session. This one is what I'm most excited about. It's called Energize the Experts, and it's dealer-led, open forum, no vendor agenda, no corporate presentation, just dealers talking to dealers about what's actually working and what isn't. I've said it on the podcast, our podcast at Power Alliance 100 times. The best learning in this industry doesn't come from the stage. It comes from the guy sitting next to you who had your exact problems 18 months ago and has figured it out. This session is the guy. It's a structured room. Don't skip it. And don't sit there quietly. Bring your specific challenges and put them on the table. The next session that I'm going to attend, and most owners would ignore, is called the Succession and Exit Session. They've got a session on succession planning and business transition. I've been through this personally. I sold my company, and what I can tell you is that the dealers who get the best outcome at exit are the ones who started thinking about it years before they were ready to go. Maintaining contracts, documented process, a management team that can run the business without you. All that matters enormously when a buyer is doing its due diligence. If you're within 10 years of thinking about an exit, you are not in that room, you are making a mistake. And lastly, the Spark sessions, pick based on what you want to do, and these are all different kind of sessions that are available. The Spark sessions are new this year. A small focus groups where you actually contributing to where RELCO takes things. Topics cover warranty, connected products, training, marketing, operations. Pick the one that hurts the most in your business right now and show up ready to contribute, not just listen. Everything else on the agenda, pick based on where your business actually needs the most work. But those 3 breakouts and a Spark session are the rooms I'm not willing to miss. I mentioned that one of the things I'm watching for on this conference is how deep the commercial mindset actually goes at RELCO dealer community. Here's why this matters for you. If it's as strong as I've been told, the room is full of dealers who have already done a lot of residential dealers are just starting to think about. Commercial work under 150 kW, assisted living, fire departments, pump stations, small IT centers. That's the range where the risk is manageable and the margins are real. First, find 2 dealers at the conference who are working in that range. Buy them dinner. Ask them 3 things. How did you build your subcontractor relationships? Electrical, mechanical, crane people. How do you handle the engineering and design risk on a commercial project? How did you land your very first commercial account? Those 3 conversations could add hundreds of thousands of dollars to your business over the next 3 years. And if you're not going to find that concentration of commercial dealers anywhere else, it's right there at the Kohler Conference. I'm going to say the same thing I said before the Generac Conference because it applies equally here. And this time, I'm saying it about myself too. When you walk through the doors at the conference, you need to make a decision about who you're going to be. Most people come as consumers. They look around, they grab the swag, they sit in the sessions, they eat the food, they have a few drinks at night, and fly home. The people who get real ROI out of these conferences come as connectors. Before you get on the plane, tonight, tomorrow, before you go, write down 3 things that keep you going, that keep you up at night. Lead generation, hiring, pricing, commercial maintenance, exit strategy. 3 things, write them down. Now make it your mission at this conference to have a real conversation with at least 2 dealers who have already solved those problems. Not necessarily the biggest operators in the room. Sometimes the most valuable conversation is with the guy who has your exact situation 18 months ago and figured it out. I'm doing this myself. My 3 observations: the commercial culture, the leadership dynamic, and the peer-to-peer learning openness. Those are my connector goals. I'm not going as an expert. I'm going as a student with this specific community. And I'll come back and tell you what I found. Dealers help dealers. You are not competing with the guy from Ohio and the dealer from Texas. You're on the same team. Those differences that is one place all year where everyone can put their guard down and people actually share what's going on. Don't waste that time. Here's a specific topic I want you to hunt for conversations about when you're in Orlando: maintenance contracts. I've talked about this on the podcast until I'm blue in the face. The dealers who have built real, reoccurring revenue through prepaid maintenance programs are the ones who survive the slow years. When new installations are soft, and some years they will be, those dealers still have cash coming in, techs staying busy, and their foot in the door for every replacement upgrade. Find a dealer at the conference who has a maintenance program that's really working. Ask them for 4 things. What's your close rate on maintenance contracts at the point of installation? Are you doing prepaid multi-year contracts? And if so, how do you structure them? How do you incentivize your techs to sell renewals while they're on site? What's your process for following up on customers who let their contracts lapse? From my experience, when we had almost 10,000 maintenance contracts at Home Power Systems, the company that I used to own and sold, that reoccurring revenue was the foundation that let us grow everything else. And when it comes to time to sell, the value wasn't just the install count. It was obviously a contract base. New installations will vary with weather, of course, and the economy. Maintenance revenue is predictable. Buyers buy a premium for predictability. All right, you've got a great conference. You've made some concerns. You've got notes and ideas bouncing around in your head. Now what? Same thing, always say, don't try to implement 20 things at once. On the flight home, pull out your notes and circle the top 3 things, just 3, the ones that could have the biggest impact on your business in the next 90 days. When you get back, come in before the week starts. Come in on the weekend. Clean up your notes. Write down your implementation plan. Commit to at least one thing in the next 30 days and make it specific. Not, I'm going to think about my commercials. Be specific. I'm calling 3 electrical contractors on my market on Tuesday. That's a plan. The other ones you will follow as well. Then get your team involved. If you learn something about maintenance contracts, bring in your operations manager. If you learn something about sales insight, bring in your sales team together. Get them excited before the week buries it. The biggest waste in this industry is dealers who go to these conferences, get fired up, come home, and let the shop swallow up within 48 hours. Don't be that guy. I want to mention something before I close. Look at what's on the session agenda for this conference. Service, sales, financing, success planning, connected products, operational efficiencies. These are the exact conversations we have at Power Alliance every single month. The difference is that at the conference, you get one session on each topic, 90 minutes, and it's over. In Power Alliance, there are ongoing conversations. When you come home from the RELCO Summit fired up about building a better service program and you hit a wall 3 weeks later, there's a group of dealers you can call who already hit the same wall and figured their way out. The conference gives you the ideas. Power Alliance helps you execute it. And that's all I have to say. I'm putting together an episode right now featuring dealers who actually implemented something after the recent conference. Not just thought about it, actually did it with real results. If you go to Orlando and come home and implement something in the next 30 to 60 days, reach out to me. That's the episode I would love to make. The RELCO Summit is March 2nd through the 5th in Orlando. Go as a contractor. Know your 3 challenges before you get on the plane. Find the people you've already solved them. Come home with a 30-day plan that you'll actually execute. I'm going in with my 3 things, and I want to find out. I'm going back and I'm going to tell everybody about it, what I've learned. And hey, if you're going to Orlando and you want to grab coffee or compare notes, reach out. I'll be a first-timer too. We'll figure it out together. This is Jim Swetman. Thank you again for joining this week's Standby Generator Podcast. Thank you for tuning in to the Standby Generator Podcast. If you enjoyed the show, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share. For more resources, tips, and to connect with other like-minded professionals, visit us at poweralliance.com or visit our social media pages. Until next time, keep powering up your business.